Well, Rip City, I got good news for you. And that is that road trip is done. It's done. It's over. The 7-game roadie is over. The Blazers are returning home after a rough 116-93 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves at Target Center in Minneapolis. This is the fifth quarter. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt, filling in today for Chad Doing. You heard him there on the post-game show. So we're playing a little bit of host roulette, everybody moving around a little bit. But, oh, man, we have a fun one, don't we? That was a rough game. Absolutely rough game. But if you tuned into game day, this was kind of to be expected. We saw it coming. We knew it was coming. Minnesota's good, man. They're good. What are you going to do? That is a good ball club. And they took care of business tonight. They took care of business. 116-93. The thing is with this one, man, another tough game where the Blazers just come slow out of the gate. I don't know how you fix that in the long run. I don't know what they need to do to be better at that particular facet. But at the end of the first quarter, I think someone said this in the YouTube chat during the pregame show. It was like, just don't get down big in the first quarter. I know Travis Demers said it during the pregame show as well, and they didn't listen. It was a 36-15 game after the first quarter. Now, the second quarter, though, give you a little bit of hope. Blazers played a lot better. It was a 27-27 quarter. They started to chip away at that lead a little bit, but Minnesota was just too much to handle. Leading the Blazers in this one, Duop Reith with 14 points, and Toumani Camara also with 14 points. Jeremy Grant had 13, and this was a game that you might want to circle this one because you're not going to see many of these from Anthony Simons, but 0 of 10 shooting, 0 of 3 from deep. He did have 5 points because he was 5 of 5 from the line, but we talked about what do you do when your best player doesn't have it. He did not have it at all tonight, and that is, again, that's a rarity. You don't see Ant shoot like that very often. Scoot Henderson had just 8 points and 4 assists. He only took 4 shots, made 3 of them. Outside of that, there was some silver linings, though. Okay, and I know we're gonna be all upset because they lost, which is fair, completely fair to be upset that they lost. We've already talked about that. I'm not going to tell you how to fan. You don't have to sit here and be like, oh, so I like some things that I saw, and it's a bad year, and losses are to be expected. That's how I view it. But that doesn't mean that's how you have to view it. So if you're upset, as some of the people are in the chat, I get it. But all things considered, I think there was one silver lining, and I'm going to tell you this much, man. Jabari Walker, he is like slowly entering the please do your best to keep him at all costs territory because he is still young. He is still getting better. And then he comes back after dealing with a little bit of knee tendonitis, plays 32 minutes, has 17 points, 13 rebounds, energy through the roof, 6 of 11 shooting. He was a bright spot in an otherwise dark game. I love what he's done. I love the quick maturation of his game, the fact that he has gotten so much better from his rookie season. I really do like that. That's a good thing to see. But everything else was rough. If you want to get in on the conversation, you know what to do. 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. You can go on youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and get in on the chat as well. The more you guys want to talk, the longer we'll keep going. But I do assure you, we're going to try to get out of here probably fairly quick tonight because I need to get home before any snow or ice starts forming out there because we got to be safe. So I hope everybody who is tuning into YouTube right now is sitting on their couch, nice and cozy, fireplace on, maybe a hot cocoa, something to keep you warm just in case the power goes out, and is staying safe before this nice little snowstorm hits. Oh, man, what a rough one, though. But like I told you last night, friends, I'm here for you. We're going to get through this. Going to make a nice little community. The YouTube chat's great. The Rip City Radio family. Oh, man, we're going to get through it. just sometimes you're going to have nights like this. Hopefully, a little return home will be just the thing the doctor ordered for these guys to maybe just get a little bit of their spunk back, a little bit of their mojo. All right, we're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to hit you with the shot of the night. And what's the scoot? Going to look at Scoot Henderson's game, another rough outing for the young Blazers rookie. Chris Burkhardt here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
Liberty Coin and Currency presents.
Walker on the drive.
Liberty Coin and Currency presents the fifth quarter shot of the night. Liberty Coin and Currency, the place to buy and sell your gold, silver, jewelry, and coins.
Walker on the drive, banks it in. The Blazers will break 90. 116-91.
The best performing team requires the best workstations. What's the Scoot is brought to you by Office Furniture Reborn. Need desks, better office chairs, or just the right file cabinet? Office Furniture Reborn has a huge selection of colors and sizes to choose from. So drop by Office Furniture Reborn's huge showroom just off Pacific Highway in 217 or visit www.officefurniturereborn.com.
Welcome back into Blazers game day, or not game day, excuse me, the fifth quarter with Chris Burkhardt. Got to get your shows right. Welcome back in, though, and it is time for What's the Scoot and what happened with Scoot Henderson. Again, interesting night. He only attempted 4 shots, but he was an effective 3 of 4 from the field, only 2 of 6 from the line, though. He had 8 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. Bad turnover numbers, though. 6 turnovers to 4 assists, not the ratio that you want. He's going through a little bit of that. He's just going through that rookie lull right now. I don't know what it is. What I need to see from him is, if you go and look at his G League tape, super aggressive, right? Knew the first step was going to beat most people, was always aggressive, firm grasp of kind of where to be, what to do, how to do it. I feel like that aggression is lacking right now. And I don't know, maybe that's a top-down thing. I know Chauncey played like that dog when he played in the league, but sometimes when you listen to him post-game and you see what's going on, it almost feels like there's just this air of nonchalance, right? And it's just like, if everybody's going to feel that way, then you're going to get these slow starts and these weird games. And so I need more aggression out of Scoot Henderson. Like, sometimes you listen to him talk to, and he's just too nice. He's just too nice. Be mean. Give me that, I hate to say it out loud, but like that Mamba mentality, right? Be mean. Be aggressive out there. You are the 3rd overall pick. You are built like a truck. Start running over cats, man. That's what I want to see from him. Take over. At some point, right, somebody has to, because the keys have been given to some people, and then they look like they're afraid to drive, right? No, if you got the keys to the Ferrari, floor that SOB, floor it, burn it up, have some fun. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Same with Shaedon Sharpe. A little passive sometimes. Be aggressive. We have seen you literally fly. You have done everything that man is not supposed to do. You have hovered. You have flown above the ground. Be aggressive. Show that off. Granted, he didn't play tonight, dealing with the abductor strain again. But I want to see that. I need everybody to do that. Even Malcolm Brogdon, the vets, like the vets this team has, let's be honest, right? The Jeremy Grants, the Malcolm Brogdons, a little bit of quiet vets. Malcolm Brogdon might speak up now and then, but I need someone to just say, no, let's go. Let's knock this S off. Let's go. I need to see that. I absolutely do. That's what I want. I don't know. What do you want? Jump on the chat. YouTube.com, type in Rip City Radio. Let me know how you're feeling. Shout out to the Fritz, Han in King City, Phil, Josh, everyone else who's in the chat right now. Josh says he's got the 3 bundles of firewood ready just in case snow hits strong. Han brought the plants in so that they didn't die on him out in the cold, because it's getting cold out there. I had to go out and grab a little snack before the game, after the pregame show, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go grab a snack real quick, get back before the game starts. And I was like, oh, it is frigid. It is absolutely frigid. So that's a tough one right there. Now, Phil says, if they're trying to lose games and develop their young players, trade Grant and start Jabari. Grant does absolutely nothing for their goals of rebuilding. That's not wrong. Not wrong at all. Now, I've argued otherwise, because I'm like, if this team latches on and starts clicking, he's the type of player on your roster it'd be really nice to have that would play well next to a Scoot and a Shea who are reaching their potential. But the longer you latch on to him, just might be the worse his trade value gets. Maybe he starts declining. I don't know. I'm with you. If this is the play you're gonna get with Ant and Grant out there, Ayton is not going to completely change everything. Like I like DeAndre Ayton as a player, but he's not all of a sudden the difference between 62-point losses, right? Might be time to trade some of those guys ASAP to bring in something. Open the door. Get Jabari out there running games because games like tonight are tough. Blazers lose this one to the Timberwolves, 116-93. Just another stinker of a game. It's a tough one to swallow. Gets a little exhausting as a fan, right? I get it. The team is young. I've told you guys that every single pregame, every single postgame. For that, I'm not wrong. That's just factual, right? But what you, as a fan, wanted to see in this game was effort, right? I think you're an NBA team losing by 30 points. It happens, right? Losing by 30 points consistently is a problem. I don't know what the solution is, but it's something that needs to be fixed. If you want to jump in on the conversation, 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. Or, of course, youtube.com. Type in Rip City Radio. Will pop right up. Shout out to Han over there. He's been one of our number one fans. He's like, you guys made it to 100. You guys made it to 200. Next is 500. Look at that. We're at 788 today, Han. It's a slow climb, but it's a climb, and you've been there for the whole time. So thank you. All right, we're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to hit you with an NBA scoreboard, take you around the league, see how everyone else played tonight. We won't hear from Coach. We didn't get any audio. We're going to work on that. But we're going to keep having fun. You guys do what you're doing. Give me all your thoughts in the comments. And as always, stay safe. That's what we want to do. Stay warm. Stay safe. Get cozy up because I'm going to be back here in just a few minutes with plenty more to talk about. Chris Burkhardt here. The fifth quarter continues in just a moment on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
It's time for a fifth quarter scoreboard report powered by Columbia Heating and Cooling, raising your expectations of comfort.
Welcome back into the fifth quarter. It is time now for a scoreboard report taking you around the NBA. See what went down on the hardwood. 6 minutes left in the third quarter in Utah. The Raptors 67, Jazz 86. Pascal Siakam with 19 points. Colin Sexton leading the Jazz with 20. Halftime in Denver. Pelicans 51, Nuggets 66. CJ McCollum 11 points to lead the Pelicans. Nikola Jokic 15 points and 7 assists. Final score in Philadelphia, 76ers 112. Kings 93. DeMontis Sabonis 14 points and 12 rebounds for the Kings. Tobias Harris 37 points, 7 rebounds, 3 steals for the 76ers. In Atlanta, the Pacers grabbed the 126-108 victory. Obi Toppin had 18 points and 7 boards. While DeJounte Murray, who is rumored to be moved out of Atlanta by trade deadline, plenty of teams showing interest, had 29 points and 3 steals. In Detroit, the Rockets 112, Pistons 110. The Pistons narrowly missed grabbing their 4th victory of the season. Fred VanVleet, 20 points, 12 assists for the Rockets. Trailblazers legend Kevin Knox, 19 points, 7 rebounds for the Pistons. In Miami, a little Florida rivalry, the Magic 96, the Heat 99. Mo Wagner 19 points for Orlando. Bam Adebayo 21 points, 11 boards, and 7 assists to lead Miami. In Chicago, the Golden State Warriors 140, the Bulls 131. Klay Thompson, he's starting to bounce back, round back into form, at least getting the shot back, which is nice. 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. DeMar DeRozan, 39 points and 6 rebounds for the Bulls. In Memphis, the Clippers grabbed the 128-119 victory. Paul George leading the way with 37 points. Xavier Tillman had 20 points and 9 rebounds for Memphis. In San Antonio, the Spurs 135, the Hornets 99, and the return of LaMelo Ball. Speaking of, LaMelo had 28 points and 5 steals to lead Charlotte. Victor Wembanyama, 26 points and 11 rebounds for the Spurs. And, of course, in Minnesota, Timberwolves 116, Trailblazers 93. Jabari Walker 17 points, 13 boards for your Trailblazers. Rudy Gobert 24 points, 17 rebounds for the Timberwolves. If you want to jump in on the conversation, you can do so at 503-248-0620. Or you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio. We'll pop right up. Like, share, and subscribe. Get those notifications every time we go live. All right, we'll head out to the phones right now because we do got a couple callers on the line. We'll head out to line 1 to friend of the show, Jackie in Sherwood, who's storm watching and wants to talk about Jabari Walker. How you doing, Jackie?
Hey, Burke. Happy Friday.
Well, happy Friday to you.
Just hunkering down, waiting for the biggest storm ever.
No, it might be, but it might not be. You know how Oregon predictions happen, right?
Absolutely. Well, I wanted to just touch on what you had said about Jabari. I really think that he should start. He's taken the time to improve himself. He put time in over the summer. And he, in my mind, he would be starting. He deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I think there's a lot of people who would agree with you. I mean, on a night like tonight when there's not very many bright spots, he was definitely one, was he not?
He is. Yes, he was and he is. In many of the games, he's just out there all over doing everything he can to help the team. So he should start.
Yeah, okay. I like that. That's not a bad take at all there, Jackie. I think you're not alone either. Like I said, a lot of people like him. He had a great performance tonight. Now, if you give us the update, you're out there in Sherwood, so people up here in Portland, you know, it might hit you before it hits us. How's the weather looking?
Well, right now it's 23. It's clear. There's a little bit of an east wind, so it makes it a little colder, but the ground's dry, so
all right,
ready for the snowflakes to stick.
Okay, I am
Good.
too. I love the snow. And we always laugh because like my Facebook memories pop up half the time. And back at my old job when I was traveling, covering the Blazers on the road, I swear every single time I was on the road is when it snowed in Portland.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. I missed all of them. And so if I get a little snowstorm nowadays, I get like I turn into a little kid. I get excited.
That's nice. Well, drive safe later.
Oh, I will definitely. Thanks for calling. Thanks for listening, Jackie.
Thank you.
All right. And Jackie likes Jabari Walker, and Jackie is not alone. I know a couple people, a friend of the show, Brandon McIntyre, B-Mac, big fan of Jabari Walker, has been since draft night, and the performance tonight was phenomenal. All right, it's time to head out. He's probably not in Studio C anymore. He's probably calling from his car, but you listen to him on the post-game show. He led the way for me. He's taught me just about like 75% of the things I know. Chad Doing is joining the show. Chad, how you doing, buddy?
Well, I am calling from the car only because Studio C was cold, and so I've got the heater and my seat warmers on because it's 29 degrees outside. Horrible.
Hey, those seat warmers, man, game changers. If you don't have one, invest. They change the game.
It's a game changer. My buns right now feel amazing. I'm not going to lie. But I'm calling because I had to share the details that I picked up on because I was talking with the captain, Rich Patterson, during the game tonight. And as the game in Minnesota was unfolding, he's like, I wonder what the worst three-game stretch is in franchise history, because they had lost by 28 points to the Knicks, and then they lost the game last night by 62 points. And so he sent off an email to their stats company, and he got the response back. And so we knew fourth quarter that the worst three-game stretch in franchise history came in April of 2022 with a point differential over three games of negative 114. And tonight they lost by they were unable to eclipse the mark. So their three-game stretch over the last three games with the loss at New York, Oklahoma City, and Minnesota tonight, minus 113. So it's the second worst three-game stretch in franchise history. But when you dig a little bit deeper, Burkhardt, 5 of the 6 worst three-game stretches in franchise history, they all fall under the Chauncey Billups era. The only other three-game stretch that's bad that's on the list came in 2006. So 5 of the top 6 worst stretches over 3 games that span in the Billups era.
That's a stat. That is a find, and it's not a great one. It's not the first thing you want to put on your resume.
No, and I realize that some of that's because of the tanking that we saw over the first couple of years with the decision to improve draft positioning. But it is really, I think, when I saw that stat, I had to absorb it for a moment because it's really a sign of the times in terms of where the team is at and the struggles that they've gone through. It's rough, and the last 3 games very difficult to watch. And tonight, same thing. Right out of the gate, 11-zip Minnesota, and and they dig a big hole, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, and I talked about it on game day. I think we kind of expected this, right? I mean, a back-to-back against the 2 best teams in the West, you're gonna take a lump or two. I don't think you expect to lose those 2 games though by almost 100 points combined. And when you look at the end of the first quarter and it's already 36-15, you're like, here you go again. So I don't know. I haven't got to talk to you in a while because this road trip has you and I playing host roulette, but. Why is it? What can you pinpoint or what you're seeing? What's going on? Why this team continues to consistently come out of the gate like their feet are stuck in the mud?
Well, I think part of it is, one issue that they've had is the offensive slippage that they've had over the last, couple of weeks where, even on nights, and we saw this last night in the first half against Oklahoma City, even on nights where they're moving the basketball and executing decently, they're not making shots. So the offensive slippage has been an issue because it's allowed other teams to go on big runs. I think that's a problem. One thing that Michael Holton was talking about in the pregame tonight, the lack of physicality, especially when it comes to setting screens and being aggressive on that end. That's been an issue because other teams have really attacked them. With their physicality, we saw it tonight in the paint with both Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. So I think that's a part of it. And then, the continued, no one wants to hear it, but, when you've got your fourth and fifth best centers playing the majority of minutes at the 5, and you've got guys in and out of the lineup and the lack of continuity, that's a part of the issue. So it's just that there are many, many reasons as to why, and that's created this mess. But it's, the last 3 games, obviously this road trip, 7-game road trip, brutal. And the last 3 games, some of the, just more difficult basketball to watch that I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, absolutely. Chad Dewing, host of Rip City Drive, joining me here on the 5th quarter. Look at that. I'm turning into a pro over here, Chad. Watch out.
You are, dude. You're a radio pro now, man.
Now, tonight was a really, really rough night for Anthony Simons, and he kind of had a rough night last night as well. And I think there's multiple.
It was 0 for 10 tonight.
Yeah, 0 for 10. You do not see that one very often. He's obviously going through a little bit of a shooting spell here, but secondarily, Chad, like, at what point do you just decide that you got to mix things up and change the lineups again, or the trade market, whatever you get for Brogdon or whatnot? Because when you look at the offensive lineup, and yes, Reith does space the floor a little bit, but if I am looking as a coach and I am looking across the floor and I'm seeing Scoot Henderson, Ant, Tamani Kamara, Duop Reith, and Jeremy Grant, it's quite obvious that I can put 90% of my defensive attention on Anthony Simons and come out just fine.
Yeah. So I think what I would do if you're Billups, you've got to mix up the lineup again. The big issue with Scoot when he's on the floor is that he doesn't attract any attention from the defense. He can't space it, and so it just creates issues for Anthony and for Jeremy Grant. So I might, and he mentioned this after I think the game against Oklahoma City, where he would reconsider, or maybe it was a game against New York. I think when they get home. I think he'll think about it tomorrow, and maybe we'll see a switch up in the lineup where maybe they'll go back to Ant and Sharp, and maybe we'll get Sharp back out there, or maybe he'll look to get Brogdon some more time. But I think, when you go through a stretch like this where the team's struggling and you need something to feel good about, getting guys with more experience in the lineup might be the best way to go for the time being, just so you can, get this team back on track, because the last – this road trip, it just seems very disjointed out there. And so more leadership, guys with more experience might be a better way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Final question for you. You called in, got in. You may have heard the tail end of that conversation with Jackie and Sherwood, who loves what Jabari Walker's bringing. What a game from him. When everyone else is feeling like they're moving a step too slow, there is silver lining in this game, and I thought a refreshing moment of this game was just getting to watch him go out there and have a very, very productive game, all things considered.
Josh, I love the way he's playing Burkhardt. He's learning how to use his body. He's the best offensive rebounder on the team. He's hitting the 3 ball at a decent rate. He plays with terrific energy, and he's not a scorer, but yet, because of where he works and how he operates, he shoots at a very effective percentage. He was 6 of 11 tonight. I just think that to discover a guy like that in the second round and to see the work he put in during the summer and then the growth this year, I'm impressed with him and his attitude and demeanor and the way he works. They need a guy like that right now, and you could tell and you can see why with the way he plays, why the coaches really appreciate him. But man, I'm down with Jabari, dude. I think he's terrific, and I don't know what he is moving into the future, but I know he's an NBA player, and whatever role that they want him to fill, he'll be able to do. But I think his best strength is understanding how he best serves a team and understanding his role on the team. He embraces it, and a lot of guys can't figure that out in the NBA. He has, and because of that, he's going to go a long ways. He's a good dude.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, hey, Chad, I'll let you get on the road. We got to get our beauty sleep because weather pending. You and I got to get back here on Sunday instead of sitting in the couch, nice and cozy, watching playoff football. We got to be in the studio. We got work to do.
I'm not going to lie. I am praying for a snowstorm that will cause a postponement of the game on Sunday, and then you and I can stay home under the covers and watch NFL football all day long. How does that sound?
There you go. I'll say the prayer before I go to bed. We'll see what happens.
All right, dude, man. Keep killing it, brother.
All right. Thank you. See you later, buddy. That was Chad Dewing, host of the Rip City Drive. That's my man right there. He talked about having a game canceled. I think I may have told this story before, but it is one of my favorites. In high school, bunch of friends of mine, we got tickets to a game. I believe it was against Memphis, and we got 6 of them. 4 of us went to the game. 2 of us couldn't go. Now, the game ended up being a big snowstorm, right? And I think Channel 12 was running like their ticker, and there was like some shuttle or something to the Blazer game, and people kept tuning in right at the end. And instead of saying, shuttle or bus to the Blazer game canceled, they kept seeing Blazer game canceled. So everyone thought the game was canceled. Game was not canceled. So we show up. We had like 300 level seats, and we show up. There was maybe 2,000 people there. Like, it was empty because everyone thought the game was canceled. So I remember very first time out of the game, Todd Bosma gets on the mic and he's like, thanks everybody for coming out. Weather was crazy out there and we appreciate you guys. So, what we're going to do now during this timeout, everyone just come on down, get as close to the court as you can. Just don't sit in the black seats, right? So you get down as close as you can. I was closest to the row without being in the black seats, which is what, 4th row, 5th row back, right behind the baseline. Again, this is before I was covering the team and never, ever been that close. And all I remember from that game after that was the fact that, here's a name. We're going to go back in the Wayback Machine. Ha-Sung Jin was playing center for your Portland Trailblazers. And all I remembered was he knew very little English, but he did know how to say 3 seconds. And every single time down the court, he was just yelling at the ref, 3 seconds, 3 seconds. And then he'd guard a guy and he'd look back at the ref and go, 3 seconds, 3 seconds. And it was the greatest, most entertaining game I had ever been to. And then to top it off, since everyone thought the game was canceled, the Blazers any unused tickets can be used for another Blazer game. And then they gave you the list of games they were available for. And like I said, we had 6 of them, but only 4 of us went. So I had 2 tickets. So I ended up getting 2 games for the price of 1 and got to sit 5th row and got to listen to Ha-Sung Jin yell 3 seconds over and over again. It was pretty fun. All right, we got one more caller on the line, so let's head out there real quick to David in Salem, friend of the show, fan of mine. That's why I like him. David, the floor is yours.
Hey, Chris, it's good to be with you. One thing that concerned me the last 2 games is the amount of assists that the Blazers guarded have had during the last 2 games that they lost. I think the Blazers starters only had 8 assists, and that included, obviously, Anthony Simons and Scoot Henderson. And another thing that concerned me is if they're not getting assists, that means that people are targeting people like Scoot Henderson and Anthony Simons. I mean, they've got to share that ball so that people cannot, focus on them. And that's one thing I really noticed. And that was a little bit discouraged to me because I'd really hoped Scoot Henderson would be playing point guard instead of shooting guard, which he played tonight, I think. I would have rather seen him play point guard. And the other thing that concerned me was the fact that Chauncey waited, I think, too long to put in bench players, which I think we talked about the last game where people like Justin Amaya, I'm thinking of Chris Murray and Ryan Repair. I would love to see them play the whole 4th quarter because they weren't going to win this game because of the performance of Jeremy Grant and Malcolm Brogdon. I just thought, wait a second, these guys are at the end of a 7-game road trip. Why don't you put in these guys and give them a chance to really shine a little bit? And I really think the coach let the team down by not doing that because, it's interesting because they did waive 2 players. So they're only playing with 13 players. So there's not a lot of leeway when you waive 2 players. That one of them was a point guard, I think, and I think one was a forward. So you don't have a lot of extra players in there, particularly on a long road trip when probably everybody's really tired. So that was my comment tonight. I won't go into the poll on Chauncey Billups that was on Blazers Edge, but your listener should look that up because I don't want to pick on him tonight.
That's fair. And David, thank you for the call. Stay safe down there in Salem. Weather might hit you before it hits us. Plus, you might get some more of that freezing rain they're predicting over the snow. So make sure you're staying safe out there, buddy. Appreciate the call. Yeah, and you're right. It is interesting, though. I mean, I dog Scoot for only having 4 assists, but he did lead the team in assists with 4 of them. The assist number, like you said, though, David, not where you want it to be as a whole. Only 18. I'm going to have to go back or maybe just pay a little more attention on Sunday and keep notes because there needs to be a stat, and that is just missed assists. Like how many? I mean, when the team is shooting 39% from the floor, they shot 27% from the floor the night before. How many assists are just missed shots from good passes, right? How many times have we argued like Dame would have had 10 assists that night if Al-Farouq Aminu wasn't, 2 for 10 from deep, right? That needs to be a stat, like a missed assist number, because shots aren't falling, but are the passes there? Box score doesn't tell me that. I might have to look into that one a little bit. Pay attention. It's a good point you brought up, though. We're going to take our final break of the show because my wife texted me. She's like, all right, put a bow on it. Put a bow on it already. I said that a couple times, and now she's like, she says it's my thing. She wants to start an apparel company and call it "Put a Bow on It." She's so cute. She's so cute. I love you, Danielle. All right, we're going to take our final break. We're going to come back. And we're going to put a bow on this one. We will go to the coach's corner, though. It might be pretty quiet, though. Chris Burkhardt here, home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. in Los Angeles. I don't know if they came up to Portland because sometimes teams will decide when they have that 2-game break, just go back home so they can have their facilities and then head back up, considering it's a short flight from Phoenix to Portland. So I don't know if the Suns are in town, and if they weren't in town, it would make sense to come in the day before, and the storm's supposed to be hitting tomorrow. So that will be something to watch, is where are the Suns? I don't know exactly. Probably already in Portland, but we'll pay attention. And, of course, stay tuned. We'll see if there's any updates on that game as the weather gets bad. If you are going to the game and there is a game on Sunday, just be safe. Be safe out there on the roads. Drive a little bit. Han says, but you don't expect that your Toyota is also only going to drive 5 miles an hour. Well, you know what? Even if you're in a sports car, maybe you should only drive 5 miles an hour on Sunday to make sure you get to Moda Center safe and get back home safe if those roads are treacherous. That is going to do it for the show tonight. Once again, thanks everyone for tuning in and jumping in on the YouTube comments. If you haven't already, head to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, like, share, subscribe, keep growing that community for us because it's an awesome place to get the combo going after a rough game. And again, if you get on the roads or even if you're just at home, stay warm, stay safe, because you know how Portland weather works. They're predicting a big snowstorm, possible ice. It might be sunny all day tomorrow with nothing. You never know, but be prepared for it just in case. Stay safe. Hope to hear from you on Sunday. I have been Chris Burkhardt. You guys, as always, are amazing. We'll see you Sunday.